It appears that Wendy Williams overestimated her strength because her comeback to the previous life of a celebrity only caused more problems with her health. As the worrying photos and videos of Wendy roaming around the city and drinking again hit the headlines, I can't help but wonder, is the Queen of Talk in real danger, or is the media exaggerating things? And most importantly, would Wendy's ex Kevin Hunter use this moment of her weakness to his advantage? Well, let's dig into this story. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. I keep my eyes on the most scandalous events in show business and always bring you the hottest updates. So, we've all been waiting for Wendy Williams' big comeback after a couple of rough years, but according to several tabloids, the former TV host is back not only to work, but to her old drinking habits as well. By the looks of it, Wendy still needs more help and care if she doesn't want to cause a relapse and end up in rehab again. Because there are certainly people who want Williams to dive into her addictions again, including her cheating ex-husband. Well, seems like drama is getting heated, so buckle up and stay the course of this video so you don't miss anything. Rumors about Wendy Williams drinking alcohol again surfaced recently as several tabloids posted information about her boozy outings. Well, this is a worrying sign because, like many people, I expected Wendy to get rid of all her unhealthy addictions and focus on her new life, free of her cheating ex and his mistress. Apparently, Wendy is giving in to her weaknesses again. Or maybe it's the way the media tries to show it. As it was reported, Wendy Williams was out and about living her best life on Friday night as she partied through town, starting at Fresco by Scotto in New York City and wrapping up at a bar called the Townhouse. As people who were with her that night revealed, Wendy didn't want to go home that already after dinner imposed the idea of going to a bar. As podcast host Rob Shooter, who was with Wendy that evening, mentioned, she kept saying she wanted to get drunk tonight. According to Shooter, Wendy was in the mood for a party. He said to the media, "We had a bite. We had some drinks, but then when we were getting ready to say goodbye, Wendy didn't really want us to leave. She kept saying she wanted to get drunk tonight and wasn't hiding her drinking." Okay, now I get actually worried about Wendy, and who wouldn't, right? We all know that the former TV host was battling her issues with alcohol abuse and even spent a few months in rehab trying to recover. After nearly 2 months of treatment in an undisclosed facility, she said she was better than ever and ready to get to work. So naturally, all Wendy's fans expected her to finally get back to being the gorgeous queen of talk we all miss. But it seems like Wendy is slowly giving in to her past addiction. Well, I see no harm in celebrating, considering Wendy, out of all people, has new things in her life, which includes several projects, such as a podcast. She must be so happy to get rid of her husband and his financial demands, and also can't wait to get back to work. I bet that Wendy misses her old life as a celebrity and cannot wait to be back. Some people believe that the media may be creating the drama out of nowhere and looking for more dirt on the former TV host, because not everyone wants to see Wendy back in her full glory. First of all, it's her husband, who, according to sources, may use Wendy's worsening condition to his advantage and finally get her money. I mean, this person was the entire reason she got half those issues, and it's because of her toxic relationship with Kevin that she ended up in rehab in the first place, battling for her life. Alcohol was a real issue for Wendy for many years, and she was even at death's door due to her problems with alcohol before her friends intervened. But I bet when you live with a person who is constantly cheating on you and doesn't even hide his outings and vacays with his mistress, you can only try to dull your pain. While Wendy bravely admitted that she was dealing with issues and addictions she had in the past, her old problems returned amid her nasty divorce from ex-Kevin Hunter. Many people said that the separation was a real challenge for her, and she stopped being her usual self. Sources from Wendy's close circle revealed the spark is gone. That Wendy who for 10 years had that spark in her eyes, that cheeky grin and that little wink is not the same now. Fans recently expressed their concerns for Wendy after she was spotted at New York Fashion Week. Although fans were glad to see her back in limelight, some thought she looked sick and it was too early to make any public appearances, let alone work. As many tabloids reported, the former talk host has been abandoned by her friends due to her unhinged behavior and has only been around paid staff that is working to keep her sober. I hope that there's still someone to stop Wendy from giving in to past addictions because the villains are waiting for her relapse so they can use it to their advantage. Apparently, there are still people who don't want her back and talking. And I guess the main villain in this story is Kevin Hunter, who is watching Wendy's every step and planning his next move against her. Because he already lost his alimony case in court, and it feels like there's nothing he can do to extort more cash from her. But this man and his mistress, Sharina Hudson, are still bitter and resentful after getting broke and being played by Wendy. I mean, they thought they were controlling the situation and expected they could manipulate Wendy for the rest of their lives. But since these two got slapped right in the face by the justice system, they cannot get over their defeat and try to take revenge on Wendy and dig into her pockets full of cash. Many people will agree with me that these people's audacity has no limits. After everything they put Wendy through, they still expect her to pay him. One person commented, "Kelvin and his trick are so tacky. Instead of throwing out false narratives, they should be concentrating on finding jobs to support their families. Just trifling." And some people already predicted that it would be impossible to get rid of these parasites. Look at what this person wrote. "I've been saying this for weeks now that Wendy isn't going to be able to get rid of these two people." Well, I don't know what Kevin and Sharina's next move is going to be, but it feels like they are not ready to let this money go just yet. And Wendy's worsening condition only plays into their hands. But again, Wendy is no fool, and she certainly knows better than to get drunk until she loses it again. But with the growing concerns from her fans and the unnecessary attention of the media on this situation, I start to worry about her well-being and don't understand why people from her circle allow such behavior. Even her own rep neglected the seriousness of this issue, explaining Wendy's boozy outing to the U.S. Sun. Her rep said, Wendy was celebrating her upcoming new opportunities. She wanted to celebrate as she has things happening, making her feel like she has a new lease on life. Alcohol has been a real struggle for Wendy over the past several years, which was constantly covered by the media. Even the former TV host acknowledged her problem, but she seemed to have no strength to stop, even with the doctors warning her to give up her unhealthy addictions. Otherwise, they may lead to aggravation of her health disorders and even untimely demise. She has had numerous doctors who have told her for years, if you drink, you'll die. But she never really wanted to stop, and the people around her in New York have allowed her to keep drinking. Some people believe that her fragile health was failing due to her continued issues with alcohol, but no one was doing anything to help her overcome these struggles. And now we learn that Wendy Williams was drinking Cosmos with a group she had met earlier that evening in New York City. This all can be quite handy for Kevin and his mistress Sharina, who aren't happy to see Wendy back on track. They don't need a strong Wendy because she was easier to manipulate when she was weakened and sick. For them, her returning addictions may be a good reason to resume their leeching schemes and use her weaknesses to finally get closer to her money. While the whole world is worried about Wendy's health, these two cannot stop thinking about the money she has in her bank. I mean, Kevin and Sharina are the definition of audacity and shamelessness, but I guess Wendy has no time to even pay attention to these two, as she is fully immersed in her new life. However, this new life seems to include several things from the past, and I won't say these are good things. When Wendy was in rehab, some sources revealed that her progress was really slow, and she has been struggling with getting back on track. I guess coming back to old places triggers past habits, and I hope Wendy has someone by her side who can tell her when it's time to stop. Knowing how hard she fought for her life and sanity, no one wants her to make the same mistakes and end up in a worse place than before. Many fans expressed their concerns and wished Wendy to find the strength to battle her demons. One person commented, Wendy has to prove to herself and her son that rehab works. For both their sake, Wendy has to learn to love Wendy and look after herself. She means a great deal to a lot of people. And another person added, oh wow, I definitely feel bad for Wendy. She shouldn't deserve to go through so many hardships in life. She deserves to be protected at all costs. At this point, I wish more people around Wendy would focus on her health and recovery and don't let her drink. Because if she starts to give in to her weaknesses, someone needs to remind her of the cost of her relapse. Plus, we all wish Wendy to be back in her full glory. And drinking, as we've seen in the past, gets her nowhere good. And what do you reckon? Is there any possibility of Wendy's relapse? Or does the Queen of Talk has everything under control? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other video about Kevin and Sharina trying to get Wendy's money by all means, because this couple of scavengers is ridiculous. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I promise to be back very soon with a new portion of gossip about your favorite celebrities